In the name of Allah Almighty, who is the most forgiving and is the most beneficent, I welcome you all. This is the third online session and the third class from English, particularly reading comprehension. In my very first class, I taught you the strategies of reading. Then I taught you the rules and steps of reading comprehension. Now in this third class, we are going to learn the complex reading comprehension passages. The rules we have learned, we are going to apply. But there are so many other difficulties we will face while solving a comprehensive passage under the given span of time. So let's start this passage. It is kind of lengthy passage. It has different types of sentences, different types of paragraphs and different types of information. So, and it is based on 6 different paragraphs. So let's solve it. Now we have this passage. This is a long passage and it is divided into the 6 long paragraphs. Each paragraph is describing the subtopic and the sub-theme. This is complex passage and it has different types of structure, sentences, words, introduction and purposes. So we are going to divide first this passage into the different parts. But before that, stop the video and read out all the passage. I hope that you are done with the first reading, and now it is time to give number to the passages, to the paragraph. Number one paragraph is about the introduction of this passage, and the second is about the military purpose of the castle. The third is about other civil and administrative purposes of the castle. Fourth is about the wooden castles and how they got failed. And then the fifth is about the foreign attackers and how castles got improved. And then moving on, the sixth paragraph is about the demise of the castles, how castles got demise and what were the causes of that. Now we have first question here. I have divided all these paragraphs by giving numbers in subtopics, and I defined the themes of those paragraphs, because while we read the questions, we will find out what is the exact purpose and how quickly we get to the answers. Which of the following is not the function of castles as expressed in text? Okay, castles served both offensive and defensive purpose, military purpose, that is present in the passage. B, castles served as symbols of power. Castles were important social centers in medieval England. And D, castles were places where the knights would keep their base horses. This option is not included, or it is not mentioned in this passage anywhere. So this is the answer. Okay. Which of the following best describes the main idea in the paragraph? It describes how and why William the Conqueror took the control of England. It explains why castles were first built in England and the military purposes they served. It shows how normal lords were often scared and frequently retreated. And then we have the fourth option that is on the second page, and I'm going to read it for you. And that is the palaces. It's question number 2, and that is, it details all of the purposes that England castles served. Its answer is B. It explains why castles were first built in England and the military purpose they served. Definitely the purpose was defensive and offensive, and it is a purely. Then we have the third question, which best explains why the original castles were first made from the earth and timber. Okay, A, it takes a lot more time and energy to build a stone castle. It did not occur to people to build castles out of stone. People did not realize how weak the wooden castles would be against fire. The wooden castles were prettier than the dirty stone castles. This is irrelevant one. So we have to find out the answer from the remaining options. The answer is C. People did not realize how weak wooden castles would be against fire. They thought that the rivers and the mountains and top hills are based sceneries for the defense, and they are the base places to offense as well. But they neglected this option, and that is why they turned their castles into the stony ones. Okay, the fourth question is, which of the following is not a true statement according to the text? Let's find out this which is not true statement. Palaces are designed for luxury, not fortification. This is untrue, and means we have to first read out all the options. B. Fortresses are designed for the fortification, not luxury. Castles are designed for the luxury and fortification. Palaces are designed for luxury and fortification. Now the correct option is C, because castles are not designed for luxurious life but for the fortification. Fortification simply we mean the defense. So the purpose or the statement which is included in the text, that is, castles are made for the fortification. Here we have word luxury, so this is the dominating theme and dominating option. Okay, number fifth, which best explains why the wooden castles were converted to the stones. Wooden castles take a long time to build. Wooden castles are uncomfortable. Stone castles offer better defense. Stone castles stay cooler in the summer. Answer is this, C, better defense. C. Okay, now we have sixth. Which of the following best describes the structure of the text in the fifth paragraph? Now this is a complex question. It is asking about the structure of a whole paragraph. Go back to the fifth paragraph, read it out, or try to find what is its structure, what is type of its structure. Compare and contrast, order of the importance, cause and effect, or chronological order. The answer is cause and effect, because the enemies were attacking to the weaker points of the castles, then the improvements took place. Moving on to the seventh question, and we have, which is not described in the text, is the improvement in the castle. Towers attached to the main castle by the wooden bridges, deep ditches dug around the castles, castle walls and filled with the water, multiple castle walls providing layers of defense, windows and entrances raised off the ground floor. No, C is not the option. B is the option. Deep ditches dug. This is not included into the passage. Eighth number is, which best explains how gunpowder ended the role of traditional castles. Let's find out. The wars were fought with the guns, and hiding in the castles was no longer necessary. Artillery forts with large cannons became more stylish than the traditional castles. Defending castles grew difficult since attackers would just shoot castle defenders. Cannons were able to knock down the stone walls, so the castles offered the little protection. This is the answer. Okay, means by the cannons, and it was became possible, it was made possible because of the gunpowder. We have ninth option, ninth question. Which of the following titles would best describe the content of this passage? This is one of the most important answer. And remember, the one question in the complex passages is asked to know your understanding. If you answer it wrongly, then you are not going to given the complete marks, and you can lose the marks as well, because the nature of this question is important. You have to attempt it. It is type of a compulsory question. Remember that. It is not given into the instructions, but you have to take care of that. Okay, let's find out theme. William the Conqueror bringing castles to the England, defending the castle, technologies used to defend medieval castles, a short history of the castles, rise and fall of the castles in England, fancy living, learning about castles, palaces and fortresses. C is the option. This is a dominating option, a short history of castles, rise and fall of castle. We have learned that how castles became most important and how they lost their value. And the last question is that, which of the following is an opinion? Now we have to find an opinion, means we have to negate, we have to reject, and we have to sideline the statements, supporting arguments, opening and closings of all the paragraphs included into the passages. Stone is more resistant to fire than wood. William the Conqueror built the first castles in England. It is unfortunate that the castles no longer serve their original purpose. Castles were used as the office of administration during the Middle Ages. Now A is opinion and others are the statements or the arguments. This is the answer. I hope that you have got complete answers, and if you have any question in complex passages, you can ask me by email ID by commenting